1, 2, 3. Welcome back to Know Thy Shelves. I'm Michelle.
I'm Rachel.
Sorry, we had a roughy start, so we're just gonna start over again. No. So this was our sci-fi pick, but do you want to go over other stuff first?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, so did you have any books that you read?
I've read, yes.
Okay.
You want to start, or you want me to?
You can start.
Okay, so the one that I read between last week and this week was The Fine Print by Laura Asher.
Asher.
Yeah, that one. It was an enemies to lover, work romance, kind of romance. It was a 3. It wasn't bad. So the only thing I really didn't like was I picked up the book and reading the book, and it was a sprayed edge, so it had like really embellished, like in the front.
Oh,
like,
so you got the nice blue one.
yes.
Okay.
And then I was like halfway through, I was like, I don't have my book, so it was on Kindle Unlimited. The format is so different. Like, I didn't realize, since I've been reading mostly like e-readers, that the format's completely different. Like when they were text messaging in the book, it had like little text message bubbles.
Yeah. Not
Italicized. That's it. And I'm like, oh. So I feel like I lost a lot from the story from reading it from the actual book to the Kindle version. I feel like I'm missed out some stuff.
Yeah, that's the only thing I hate about Kindle is like
I
the
guess,
format's different.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't realize it was that different. I thought it was kind of the same kind of text or like, but it was not. It was not. I was like really kind of mad about it. I was like, well, forget this. And then the other one I read was, Stuff Your Kindle Day yesterday. So many books. It was just a really short one. It was called Dragons and Dumplings, which I thought was smut, which had no smut at all in it. I was like, okay, all right, where's the nope, okay, it's done. It was just like a cute, like small romance.
Okay.
No smut.
No smut.
No smut. Which is fine, but I was reading it for the smut, but it's fine. Smut book, no smut.
Yeah.
1 star. Sorry.
So the only book that I read besides our sci-fi pick is A Feast for Crows, which is the 4th Game of Thrones.
I was about to say, yep, it sounds familiar.
And it's 1,000+ pages, and I've been working on it for a while.
I was about to say, that was on the last episode. You said you were going through a 1,000-page book.
Yes.
So that was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was Outlander for some reason.
Well, Outlander is 600 pages.
Oh, God.
Like, I was reading 3 books that had the main character Jamie in it.
Oh, God, no. Couldn't do that. No, thank you.
But I finished that one finally.
Okay.
And it's a 3-star. It's Game of Thrones. It is.
Is it a really dry read, kind of like...
Kind of.
Okay.
So, my big thing with Game of Thrones is... I wish he'd aged up the characters. Okay. Because you put 13-year-olds in sexual situations.
Makes it a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've not read any of his stuff, so I can't tell if I like him or not as an author. Yeah. I know I definitely don't like Stephen King, so I have tried. I'm like, I like his movies and everything, but I cannot read a book to save my life.
So if you watched the first season of the show, that's pretty much the first book.
Okay.
There's some changes.
Obviously.
But there's not a lot.
No,
they did a pretty good job for the first season.
And then after that, it's downhill.
Well, you have to... So with the show, they pulled stuff from different books for each season. Because the timelines are weird in the books.
Gotcha. All right. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. All right. Did you have any other books that you read?
Nope.
Then you want to get into it?
Sure.
Okay. The book that we read was our sci-fi pick for this month.
And it is Red Rising by Pierce Brown.
Pierce Brown.
Yep. That's what his name is.
Yes. This is the last book for July, and then next episode is like a bonus one, so catch it. Or tune in, I should say. So let's just get into it. This is a what is it called when it's more a series? Just a series?
Yeah.
Okay, so this has 5 more books. He's working on the 7th book, I think. So it's a very long trilogy. So knowing that going in is going to really determine if you want to continue.
Yeah.
Right? Like, obviously a lot happens in the first book, but then obviously there's so much more that goes on. So it's not your one and done kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, let's just get into it. Okay, so, since we didn't obviously read the rest of the books, we're just going to go over the first book and then kind of go from there.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk about the characters first, or kind of like the hierarchy?
Let's talk about the two characters,
okay.
main characters that are Reds.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
You baby. So, Darrow,
yeah,
who's the main character, and 16, and the book is only from his perspective.
So he is the main character.
Yeah, he is the main character, main POV. And then, are you talking about his wife?
Yes, Io.
Io.
Which is also 16.
Yes.
And they live in...
They live on Mars.
They live on Mars.
But they live, like, underground, kind of like a bunker situation.
I felt like it was more like a mining camp.
Yeah, but they don't, at the beginning of the book, they don't know that there's stuff beyond the surface.
Yeah, because they're just under the surface?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're, like, mining for helium-3, which is their main, I won't say ingredient, but main ingredient, for terraforming new planets. So, you know, the Reds are miners, obviously, and that's kind of, I don't want to get too much into it too early.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, they are noble to basically, or they think they're noble in getting the helium-3 to terraform the planet so they can live on top.
Yes. They also have, in this society, they have multiple colors. Your color kind of determines your class.
And from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, it's not something you can just, oh, I'm a red, now I'm a green. You're born into whatever society or color that you are.
Yeah. I think from some of the descriptions, it seemed like the Reds were mostly like redheads. And then the Golds, which we'll get into, were mainly blonde. Because you got that description of people and like their blonde hair.
Yeah. I don't know about all the other colors, like the pinks and violets, because they really didn't get into that.
Yeah.
But yes, it was very distinctual, where you can't kind of move up, I guess would be the best way to describe that. Do you want to go into anything else before we get into, do you want to go over the hierarchy, the colors and everything, or no?
Let's do that in part 2.
Okay, I can do that. No worries.
Because we have all of part 1 where we're in.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so, like Rachel said, it is in 6 parts, I think? Or is it 5 parts?
It's 5 or 6.
4 parts. 4 parts? Okay, so there's 4 parts?
Sure.
Okay. I kind of did by, like, parts, and then, like, the chapters, but, okay. I think it's 4 parts, and there's, like, 44 chapters. We'll go with that.
Yes, there's definitely 44 chapters.
Okay. So it kind of opens with Darrow being in, like, a mine, obviously, since he's a Red. And then it kind of, like, the reason why they're mining, which is the helium-3 for terraforming. And then they talk a little bit about the creatures that live on Mars that are kind of kind of scary. Like vipers or wisp vipers or something like that.
The pit vipers.
Pit vipers.
Like the sunglasses.
Woo! So basically they like anything warm, and, warm source in the ground is either the mine that's mining with or the human.
Or the drill, which is hot.
Yeah.
It's really hot.
But then I think they figured out they just die.
Yeah.
So yeah, it opens with Darrow is, like, the youngest hell diver.
Yes.
Which is just basically the best of the best divers.
Well, right? I think he goes down first and tries to figure out, like, where helium is.
I gotcha.
And that's his job.
I gotcha.
Maybe that's what I understood from it.
I took it the other way. I took it that he was the best of the best. That's why he goes down first, but it could be a little bit of both.
Yeah.
So then it talks about his wife, Io, which you're allowed to get married at 6.
So the boys are 16, the girls are 14.
Yeah, I was like 14. So she waited so she can marry Darrow because they really loved each other. And then kind of talks about his uncle and his dad. His dad kind of died. He didn't sing the song. He danced the song or whatever.
He danced the dance of the forbidden dance.
Yeah, the dance of the forbidden dance, whatever that is. Yes. So, I don't know how deep you want to go into it.
So, let's talk about the execution process because that's fucked up.
Oh my god.
So,
yes, go for it.
The gravity on where they live in Mars is not
as gravity pulling.
Yeah. It doesn't pull as much as Earth. So, when somebody gets executed, they hang them. But the family has to go and pull on their legs to snap their necks.
Yes. And it's just a form of control, which you find out a little bit later. So basically, the loved ones do it because they don't want, obviously, the person that's hanging to be suffering. Because you could, like, literally hang there for days without actually dying. So it's kind of like the last thing that they can give their loved one. But it's all control.
Yeah. Also, they can't take them down and bury them.
Yeah, they have to hang there until they either fall off of their own accord, that takes a fucking long time.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Or, sometimes they cut them down, but it has to be, like, is it the Greys that are... Yeah, the Greys are, like, the soldier or the police. So only they're allowed to, but yes, you don't bury anyone.
Yeah.
So that's how the main character's father died. He danced the forbidden dance, and he was hung, and he had to help pull the legs.
Yeah. Which is...
And I don't remember what age he was when this happened. I want to say 4 or 5 years ago from, like, the beginning of the book. It was fairly recent, but not, like, last year or the day before or something like that. So his Uncle Nero, basically father's brother, kind of took over for the family and is like his commander, not really commander,
it's like his manager, like he's the guy in the tower thing telling them about stuff.
Yeah. I was gonna say superintendent, but no.
He's like the mine
operator.
Supervisor.
Yeah, there we go.
Superintendent.
Working something. He's barking orders. And there's you can kind of see where they kind of fight in the beginning of the book, where Nero's like, hold up, there could be a pocket of gas. And Darrow's like, nah.
He goes, I'm gonna win the laurel. Which is...
Laurel Tide, yeah.
Yeah, where they get the best food and... Yeah.
So basically, like, if you bring in the most quota or whatever, you get, like, kind of like, hey, here's some goodies. And that's what they're trying to win. So he's like, Darrow's like, no, we're gonna stopping because it takes, like, it's gonna take an hour or two, and then by the time that they have it cleared, he's like, and his main worry is that if he doesn't make quota today, they don't eat, him and his wife. So he's just like, nah. So he takes, things in his own hand, decides to, like, literally go to the drill, and is like, yeah, there's no gas, we're good.
And burns himself.
Yeah, burns himself. And then takes a shower in a...
Air shower,
which I still don't understand the concept of that, but okay. Yeah. So then he kind of talks about a little bit more of Red's struggles. So if he doesn't bring home the money, really the breadwinner, he talks about some other situations with other of his family or people he knows that their wives will go behind like the husband's back and kind of do things for some provisions.
They'll sell themselves for what they need.
Pretty much. I was trying to say it nicelier. But from our understanding, his wife has not had to do that. Or he doesn't know about it. Which, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just surviving, so I can't be mad, really. At least in my shoes, I wouldn't be mad. So, the Laurel... They don't win.
Yeah. They think they're going to win, and then... Gamma wins. Which they've won...
Like, every
single time.
Yeah.
So the game is rigged.
Yes.
Pretty much.
And Darrow's, like, pissed about this, but Io just kind of, does her thing. She's like, it's alright, let's go dance. And then he kind of forgets about his anger, because he's really quick to anger. He is, like, a hothead.
Yeah.
I kind of said that. I'm like, he's not abusive. No, he's not abusive. It's just more of like he's a hothead.
He really loves his wife.
Yes, he really does, which I think is super sweet. It's so cute. So after they lose, they go to. Io finds like it's like the spider place. Why are those fucking spiders? But that's how they get their like silk or weave or thread or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's what the women do. I think.
Yes.
Yeah, the women kind of harvest that. I don't know how you harvest. I don't know.
So I think they harvest pretty much.
Yeah. However that is.
They make textiles.
Yes. So, Io and the other girls find this like tunnel that was supposed to be hidden, but not really. So they go through it, and you actually see some of Mars' natural plants, because there's like a tree. It still has like the red soil, but stuff is growing in it. So they're all like, both of them are like, oh my god, this is beautiful. This is like hidden underground. So they don't question the validity of how it's there.
Yeah.
They just think, oh, it's underground. It's found a way, and it's a forbidden place. As you can imagine, a lot of things are forbidden in this society. And they don't explain why it's forbidden. I just think it's
a control issue.
Yeah.
So they want to make sure that they don't have what they need, so they're dependent on the golds. They want to make sure that they don't see what it's actually like on the surface, so that way they will stay content with what they have.
Yes. So they kind of have, I wouldn't say a heated discussion, but Io is like, Darrow, I think we deserve more. We're slaves. And I think you could really, I don't know, like run a rebellion kind of thing. Be the face of the rebellion.
Yes. Because there's also a rebellion in this world called the Sons of Ares. It's more Greek gods.
Yes. Yes. Which one into it? Yeah, you pick everything Greek, it's fine. No, it is. So once they get out, they're caught by the Greys, which is like the police, and for doing something forbidden, there's different punishments. For this, 48 lashes. I think it was 48. Lashes to the back.
Because they surrendered. They didn't fight back when they got caught.
Which they really wanted them to. But if you fight a Grey, it's automatic death sentence, from my understanding.
Yes.
Okay. So they go to jail for 3 days. Like, repent or some shit. I don't know. I don't know why the 3 days is important. And then they decide to make a spectacle out of Darrow, because this is kind of like the first Helldiver that's broken law in a while, so they want to make like a
example out of him.
Yes, thank you. So he takes 48 lashes, and then it's Io's turn, and I think she gets a couple, and until she starts singing the forbidden song. So there's also a forbidden song, forbidden dance, which they call the sun. No, not the sun. The Song of Persephone is the forbidden song. More Greek gods.
Yep.
So Io starts singing the Forbidden Song, and then she's put to death. And then before she dies, not really, before she gets hung, she yells, "Break the chains." And then Darrow kind of sweeps under her and like pulls her feet pretty quickly so she doesn't have to suffer anymore.
Yeah, this was a hard, like, first part of this book.
Oh, I was like, 100%. I was not expecting, I was like, okay, you know, sci-fi, there's gonna be death. But I was not expecting his fucking wife in the first, like, 6 chapters. Part 1 is 1 through 6 chapters, okay?
Yeah, this was a rough beginning to this book. And we're like, oh, is this how we're gonna...
Yeah, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. And so he decides, as his one final act of love, to bury her where they last, the forbidden place with the tree. Because they had a discussion, they had sex because they're married. And so that's where he wanted her to bury, which is also forbidden. So he knows this going in. So this is the next day. He eats breakfast. He pulls her down. No, actually, I think he pulls her down that night and then eats breakfast and then is taken. And so his uncle tries to talk him out of it, and he's like, no. It's his final act of love, and he wants to be a martyr for her.
Yeah. And this is also when his uncle drugs him.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't know
But for good reason.
Yeah. No. So this starts part 2, which is called Reborn. And that's chapters 7 through 19. Before you go into this, do you want to do the hierarchy or do you want to wait?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do hierarchy.
Okay. So before we go into the second part, the second part kind of goes into more of the hierarchy. So we're just going to knock that out and hope you follow us. So we got, I'm just going to go up, top down. Okay, so we got the high collars, which golds are the rulers of society, period. No ifs, buts about it. Silvers are finance and businessmen. Whites are clergy/judges. And then you got the coppers, which are admins, lawyers, and bureaucrats. So you got the mid collars, which are blue, which are bridge crew and pilots. Yellow is doctors and researchers. Some of these are not in the first book, by the way. Like, we didn't encounter any yellows or greens. I didn't realize, like, until I was, like, putting my notes together. I was like, okay, I only had some of these. And I was looking at a picture of the hierarchy, like, because obviously it's a well-known book. So there was a lot more than what's in the first book. But it's barely.
So the first book, we basically
get more of the
reds, golds, and we have a couple pinks in there.
Pink and yes. Yeah. We didn't have a lot. Like I said, most of them, obviously, like you said, golds, reds. That's really the main ones in this book.
Yeah, because we have some grays too, but
yeah, the grays, and then
they kind of go away.
One violet. Yeah, it's mostly about the red and gold, just for the first book. So you got greens, who are programmers and technicians. Violets that are arsonists or like other artists or creators. Orange are mechanic and engineers. Grays are the soldiers and police. And then you have the low collars, which are browns, which are servants, cooks, and janitors, that's introduced later in the book. Obsidians, which I didn't understand, were elite soldiers and bodyguards. Okay. Pinks are for pleasures, obviously. And then you have reds, which are mine laborers or miners, but you also have high reds and low reds. And that will kind of explain a little bit. Well, might as well just explain it now, I guess. Yeah. So the low reds are like Darrow, that have never seen outside world. Still think that terraform is not a thing. They all live underground. And then you get the higher reds, who are maintenance workers, sanitation, assembly workers that live on top of Mars, that know that it's terraformed. There's a whole bunch. It's like a city. Yeah. That's it. It's a very
it's a lot to take in all at once.
Yeah, and that's why in the beginning of the book, right around chapter 2 or part 2, it only goes through really the golds, coppers, gray, pink, and then of course the reds. And it really doesn't. It kind of glosses over some of the other ones, which is how obviously I got what everyone was, but not a lot of them are announced, I guess.
Yeah.
And then if you notice that the high collars, the golds, silver, whites, and coppers, are all named after minerals to indicate like a greater hierarchy from everyone else.
Yeah. They also all have like Greek names.
Yeah, that too. I forgot that part because that was going to be a little too complicated for my brain. Okay, I can be honest about it. Okay. All right. So that leads into the part 2, which is Reborn. So Daryl kind of wakes up after
he thought he was dead.
Thought he was going to go to the afterlife to visit Io. That was not the case. Like Rachel said, his uncle drugged him, and that's how they were able to sneak him out. It was mentioned that no one else died after this because obviously they cut him down and buried him, which is also punishable by death. That was explained away, which I kind of liked. It also kind of pissed me off a little bit, but it's fine. That his uncle kind of cut the feed on the cameras so they couldn't tell who did it.
Yeah.
That was an explanation, and we're done with the reds. Or at least we're done with all the lower reds.
Yeah.
And this is where Daryl kind of meets the sons of Ares.
Which, if you didn't know, Ares and Mars are kind of the same person. So, Ares is Greek, Mars is Roman.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So,
Sons of Mars. Okay, that makes sense. That's cool. I didn't know that. I mean, I knew it, but I didn't connect the two. So this is when they kind of tell him what they want of him.
Yeah.
They're like, Io said that you want it. They put Io into it, but she wasn't a part of the rebellion that we know of. Ish, kind of.
Yes. Maybe,
yes. His uncle actually is part of the rebellion, though. Which could have... I don't know. But anyways, basically, he's like, no, I want to kill... I think his name is Augustus. Yeah. They're like mayor guy.
It's the highest of the golds.
Yeah. Yes, the archgovernor. Isn't it? The archgovernor is the highest of the highest, isn't it?
Yes. Archgovernor.
Yeah.
Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Well, someone's Augustus. I think the mayor or whoever. Anyways,
it was Augustus.
Was it Augustus?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, he's just mad at the world because he really loved his wife, and he's like, no. No, I just want revenge. And they're like, no, you're thinking too small. And that's when they show him the city outside the mining area. Whatever. They show him the outside world. And then he kind of realizes that Io was right. That they were just slaves.
Yeah.
And that fuels his fire. And this part kind of freaked me out. I didn't like this part of the book. So basically, he
goes he gets turned into a gold.
Yeah.
So they give him like plastic surgery to look like a gold. They train him and they teach him all the things to be gold, and it's very intense and descriptive.
Yes. Yes. So this is where you meet your first Violet, which notice that Violets are not doctors. I just want that to be said here. But he is an artist. So this is all kind of done back channel. Cosmetic surgery.
Yeah, I think he was more of a person that does body modifications.
Yes. Yeah. because he has someone with him that has like bird wings, which he created on her. But yeah, so he does body modifications, and they call him a carver, which yeah, it just kind of explains it all. Okay. Yes, it's very descriptive, very painful process. They literally change everything on him. They make his bones reinforced with like titanium, but it's like gold or some shit.
So basically, he's Wolverine.
He's Wolverine, really. I mean, they change out his eyes, his hair, give him stronger muscles. I think they actually end up making him taller because they're all like tall, like Greek god, you know. So it's very, I don't know, I didn't like reading it. I did not like reading it. So yeah, so they basically try to, so the Institute is where they wanted to go. They want Daryl to go to. So they have to, it's kind of like a written test. See how proficient you are at being a gold. To be the best of the best. And that's kind of what they're tutoring him for. They basically get him out of the mindset of a red into a gold so he'll, you know, not be caught day one.
Yeah.
So that's their goal. They want to obviously make him into a gold so he can infiltrate and maybe get into a very secure place of power to help the Sons of Ares in whatever plot they come up with in the next couple books. Because obviously we don't know that at this point. They just send him to the institution because obviously they don't know what's going on at the institution because it's all golds. So they
and it's very secretive.
Yes,
hush.
Yes, for a very good reason. I think the proctors are bronze or gold. Is that right? No, bronze or copper.
I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
But they're
exactly.
not golds.
Yeah, they're not golds. I think they're copper, if I'm not mistaken. Someone in the higher coppers because they're the lower of the high reds. So they train him. Basically, he passes with flying colors through the written part. He only missed one.
Yeah, and they test him like, did you cheat?
Yeah, they're like, how'd you do that? And he's like, I'm just that good. Which, you know,
well,
I don't think is true, but you know, obviously, but they did something right. I don't think he was. They also messed with his brain. They put like brain modifications in, but I couldn't tell you the science behind that.
If there is any.
If there is any, yes. So this is where after they pass the admissions test into the institution, they go into a training program, and this is where they go through. There are 12 houses to the institution, and each kind of have their own, I don't know, pick of the pick, kind of.
Yeah, the draft.
They draft. So they each go down the line and pick who they want on their team, and then they go through something called the passage. So basically,
for each house, there's 100 people that go in.
Yes.
For the
passage.
Before the passage.
Yes.
And then they go through the passage, and
yes, it's a one-on-one fight to the death because there can only be one. The goal is to become the Primus, which is the best of the best of the best of this group. I want to just call it like a class.
Yeah.
Because they treat it more like a class. Like you get the entrance test, you have to pass that, then you have to go through the passage, and then that's even narrowed down even further. There's only half of them can get in, so there's 50 from each house now.
Yes.
Yeah. So Daryl kills Julian, which is a brother
Cassius,
which they
met previously, and then they've also met
institution.
Servo, which is kind of the smallest of everybody.
Yeah,
he's
like the black sheep of the golds. Well, so is kind of Daryl too, just in a different sense. They're like there was something about him that treated him like an oddity kind of thing for Darrow. But yes, I love Serena. He's so cute. But yes, he's like the smallest of small. And their goal was
to kill off the weaklings.
Yeah, it was to kill off the weaklings. That's what the like passage is for. So only because there can only be one, and they want the best to survive.
And they don't tell you who fought against who.
Yes, that is very important. Yes. So this, I think that leads into part 3.
Yes.
After the passage, part 3, which is chapter 20 through 33, and this is where it gets. So yeah, this is where a lot of shit happens. Okay, so obviously Darrow's feeling some guilt, even though he wants to do the right thing for his wife. He still feels guilty, especially because Cassius' brother.
And he was kind of friends with Cassius, even though Cassius is kind of a turd.
Yeah, I mean, the Golds are just very prideful, so any slight against them, it's like they remember and will like they never forget.
Yeah,
like that slight against them, which is kind of scary. Yeah. So
this is where they go into like the orientation of what they're going to actually do in the Institute, and House Mars doesn't have anything to begin with, so they have to figure out how to get food. And they're going against other houses, and basically it's war. Yeah. It's a war game.
So basically each house picks their person they want to lead, and there was kind of some in at least the House of Mars, Darrow or Cassius, and naturally it went to Dario, or
Dario.
Yeah, I thought I said his name.
Darrow. That's
Darrow.
what it is.
Yeah. So there's kind of in that house there's some like go back and forth. So you can imagine every house, they're all kind of like who's going to be their primus, who they want to kind of help move forward, and the goal of being the primus. So there's some, obviously, they find caches kind of like hidden throughout the place to help move things along, and like you said, it just becomes like a war at this point.
Yeah.
Who can get, there's like something that you have to get from someone.
It's like a seal, or a brand, but it's like a science brand because they can switch off and on.
Yes. So if you get that house is out, right? It's like capture the other.
Yeah, it's like capture the flag.
Capture the flag. So if you capture their flag, they're out of the running, and you either enslave them. Yeah, enslave them because you're not supposed to kill another gold, right? Yeah. Besides in the passage,
They're not supposed to kill them, but if they die, it's not frowned upon either.
Yeah. So you have like medbots and everything like flying around trying to help, but obviously if you just break someone's neck, there's no surviving that. So this is kind of where they meet the other houses. I didn't write down the houses' names, but House Minerva, which is ran by a girl called Mustang. This is where he negotiates with Mustang to kind of win back his castle and reunite with his house.
Because they were divided.
Yes.
And Titus kind of took over, and then they had a duel. Him and Cassius had a duel, and I almost say Cassian every single time.
Cassius. Yeah.
So they have a duel because he thinks that Titus killed Julian, but he didn't. And then they kind of unite the house, and then it falls apart again because Cassius finds out that Darrow killed Julian.
Which wasn't his fault, though.
No.
So this is where things could pick up a little bit. So they kind of discover that the proctors that are supposed to be helping each house is not.
They're just helping one person. And his nickname is the Jackal.
Yes. Which tells you everything you need to know. No, I'm just kidding. So they win back his house. Darrow discovers another red.
Which is Titus. Yeah.
Which is in disguise, yeah. Which Titus is kind of a dick. He takes his whole claiming slaves to a whole new fucking level. And they're all golds. So this is like a humiliation for them. So Titus kind of rapes some girls. Which...
yeah.
It's like very, like, they're very prideful. So they're like... Don't have... From my understanding, they don't have anything after this game because they don't have any prospects after this because they were humiliated. That's kind of how I took it. And then he just starts cutting people's ears off because he can. Like, what?
Yeah.
He gets a little too into the dictatorship here. So I think with House Diana, House Diana helps him capture Titus, right?
Yes.
Or is it Minerva? I think he's not friends with her yet.
I don't think he's friends with her.
So he conspires with House Diana to capture Titus and Minerva's castle. And this is where I didn't really understand. Darrow kind of, instead of killing Titus himself, let Cassian do it, and then his followers think less of him because of it. And I was like, what?
So Darrow thought it was Cassius's right to kill him
because of his
brother. Well, Cassius thought that it was his right to kill him. So Darrow's like, alright, because I don't really want to kill nobody.
Yeah.
So,
but then
you guys can fight.
Yeah, but then it looks weak to the other people that he didn't claim the kill or something. I don't know. Something about prideful, obviously I don't have any pride, I guess. No, I just don't understand the whole kind of thing. So this is where Jackal sends Cadius the footage of Darrow killing his brother in the passage, which no one is supposed to have. And this is where we kind of get the more insight to someone's not paying fairly.
Yes.
And then that leads... Cassius stabs Darrow in the abdomen with this... Was it the razor? Or was it a different kind of weapon?
I'm not sure.
It was very painful for Darrow. And took him like a month to survive this. And that ends part 3. We're going into part 4, which is called The Reaper. Which brings us into the last 10 chapters of the book.
Yes.
This is where Darrow wakes up and he goes obviously in and out of consciousness, and he thinks Io is the one that's patching him up. When it's actually Mustang.
Yes. Which she got away from when her house got taken over by them. So she'd been chilling out in the woods.
Yeah, she was just like, I'm just here. But yeah, she... I don't know if it went over like why she saved him, but she did.
Yeah, I think they just had a connection.
I remember why. So basically when they took her house, whoever was helping him wanted to rape her, and he let her go. And so I think that was her repaying him.
Yeah.
For letting her leave, so she wouldn't be dishonored.
Yeah. There's a lot of moving parts in this.
Yes, it is a lot.
And there's a lot of houses, and you're like, who is this person? You call this person by this nickname. And
yeah, this is where the like nicknames are just heavy, and we're like, I was like, who's 100%. Yeah. So he wakes up, kind of sees that it's Mustang, kind of gets feelings for her as the book goes on. But he connects her to Io because she starts singing that song, the Forbidden song. fuck golds. They can do whatever they want.
Which makes me think that she knows that he's a red.
You think so?
Yeah. I think it's going to come back around.
It could be. Could be. There's 5 other books you can read to find out. So this is where his house is Proctor, which is Fitchner?
Yeah.
Kind of goes into like, hey, yeah, we all kind of decided to let one person win.
And these 2 houses are the main cause. It's Jupiter and
Apollo. Yeah, Apollo's Proctor. So this is where Daryl, he kind of was giving up. Like, he was like, okay, I'm not gonna win. Fuck, you know? And then the Proctor comes and tells him, like, hey, back off. You know, you can just survive. And Daryl's like, oh, no. You talked me into it. I'm like, fuck everyone up. And that's basically, like, puts a fire back under him. He's like, I can do this. So when they figure out that the arch governor, Augustus, rigged the game for his son to win, which is a big no-no because it's supposed to be fair for everyone. Mm-hmm. So if anyone found out, they could be in big trouble. And they're also, like, televising this to other golds, but there's a delay, so they can kind of cut out parts that they don't want to show. So it's like a big old cover-up, and Daryl is not having anything about it.
Nope. Because this is not fair, so we're gonna take out everybody that's helping him.
Yes. And this is where I feel like it starts getting more interesting. Like, because, you know, it's really fast-paced at this point. Because obviously it's in the book, but I just felt like it was kind of slow there in the middle, because I just hate the war and everything that has to do with the war. It's just boring to read, because you're like, have all these moving parts, and it's really hard to focus, or at least for me.
Yes, that's my main... I don't like war novels, because yeah. Yeah. No, I understand completely. So, this is where Daryl decides to get all of the slaves that are in the other houses, that become a part of other houses because of this, you know, war, because there can only be one. He decides he's not going to make them follow him. He's going to earn, kind of, like, their trust,
and it's a different kind of relationship between being slaves and being asked to be in something. So he decided to go with that approach because he felt like that would be better and he'd get more loyalty.
Yes, and they wouldn't be kind of like, I'm going to do what you say, but also I'm going to do the least amount of what you say.
Yeah, because he did notice that throughout that the slaves would follow their command, or whoever they're under, but would only do what they said, like, you know, conquer that, but they left people, like, leave. So it was very, like, half.
Yep.
Which I would probably be the same way. If I was a slave and he cut off my ear, I'd be like, yeah, I'm only do the bare minimum. So I'm, like, quitting. And this is where Daryl gets the name the Reaper, because he has a sling blade, which is a very red thing to have, which is kind of not good, but it's obviously like a curved blade, kind of like a scythe. So that's where he kind of gets the name the Reaper. So this is where he starts capturing houses left and right with other people's help.
Yep. But he doesn't go towards his own house because he doesn't want to deal with Cassius.
No, yeah, he doesn't want to deal with Cassius, Cassius yet. So this is where they capture a house Sirius? I don't know. However, but one of his, not followers, well, I guess followers, people under his command, tries to rape one of the girls from the other house, and he was like, nah, why ain't doing this shit? Mm-hmm. And this is where he whips him, the guy that was trying to rape the girl, and he also decides to take some lashes because obviously he's done it before. And he only does like 20 or something, and basically gained more loyalty out of this, really, because he's like, you know, you don't do this to another gold. And that's where he like kind of like leans into the gold aspect of his new identity. But he was just like, you do this to another gold, it only hurts a gold. And that's like the mindset he gives them. And they're like, oh, okay, we won't do that. Which I think gets him more loyalty.
Yeah.
And this is where Apollo's Proctor kind of steps in to tries to kill Darrow, and it does not work.
He sends a bear, and that doesn't work.
Yeah, they're all trying to stop him because they all want to further their own careers by backing the Arch-Governor. Son. Arch-Governor's son. The Jackal.
Corruption runs deep.
Yes. And obviously the Arch-Governor wants to win, his son to win too, because obviously power, you know. And his son is crazy. Anyway.
I think they're all kind of crazy.
I mean, that's true. Pride makes you do crazy things. This is where he goes to Jupiter's castle, and this is kind of where he finds the Jackal in disguise. Not really disguise.
Acted like he's weak. And he doesn't have food, and...
I mean, part of that's true, but...
They send him basically into the wilderness with nothing. And then they complain about not having cushy beds the whole time.
Right? Like, I'd be more worried about food, but oh my. And this is where Darrow makes the connection that he's the Jackal. That the guy that's in the castle isn't who he says he is. Mostly because of the rings. So they each wear a ring, and that's supposed to help the Proctors monitor where you are, / who's still alive, whatever it is. But Darrow makes a connection. He's like, hey, I've not found any of your guys' house's rings. Where is everyone? Fucking Jackal they ate them. I just need that to be, I needed that to be said, okay? I'm sorry. Because, like, which I get it, like, but also there's animals. So I don't understand the whole go into cannibalism thing, because there is food. You just too lazy to get the food.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it comes down to. They're like, why should we work? So he basically just
eats people.
Eats his house and kept the people he wanted to keep, I guess? I have no idea. I don't know how he's decided. But anyways. This is like so fucked up. Okay. So, they imprison the Jackal, and
they make him cut off his own hand.
Yes, they make him cut off his own hand because the story is if a Jackal is
trapped, he'll eat his own hand. He'll eat his own paw to get out. But that's also a lot of animals.
Yeah. So Darrow lets him go through with it because he didn't think he would go through with it, which, mistake on his part because he's fucking crazy.
But he also gives him too much time to get away, too.
Yes. And then, this is where he finds out that the Proctor stole Mustang. Sorry, I lost her name. Which, her real name is Victoria, but
she goes by Mustang.
She goes by Mustang, so doesn't matter. Anyways. So this is when Darrow decides to, because the Jackal fled, which they could still technically track him down. But Darrow takes to a different playing field and decides to go where the Proctors are living, which is
Olympus.
Olympus! Why is it called Olympus? No, anyways, it's just their headquarters to watch over the gold youngins. Anyway, they imprison several of the Proctors, and this is
and then they kill Apollo, right?
They kill Jupiter's Proctor with Severo's help, but I don't remember Apollo. Yeah, kills Apollo for interfering, and then he kills Apollo first, Apollo's Proctor, and then they go to Olympus, where they defeat Jupiter's Proctor, but don't kill him. with his howlers, is what they're called. Severo's gang of
feral children.
That's a really good description. I was gonna say like Peter Pan's like
the Lost Boys, but they're feral children.
Yes. That decide to take up a wolf persona, which is where the howler name comes in. Anyways, so basically this is where Darrow's like, okay, Mustang, bring me Jackal. And she's like, done. And he kisses her and she leaves. And this is where he finds out that they're related, that Mustang and the Jackal are twins. And he's like, oh man, I fucked up. So he like gets everyone put together because he's like, oh god, they're gonna run. Like, you know, thinking there's up for another battle. But Mustang does not betray him. She brings back the Jackal alive, just tied up.
Yeah. I think he was tied up and naked.
Yeah, I think you're right. And then Darrow is declared the arch primus of the game. And
he won the game. Yay!
Yes, he won the game. And this is where the arch governor takes Darrow and takes him to the side and was like, you gonna tell people? And Darrow's like, what are you gonna give me? And so this is where he kind of becomes like an apprentice. I'm not sure what.
Yeah.
I don't like an apprentice of the arch governor, which where he only accepted it because he thought that's what the Sons of Ares would want him to do. He obviously hates the arch governor for many reasons.
But he's going deeper into the...
Yes, and that's kind of where it ends. At least the first book. Obviously, I said there's 5 more, so there's a lot of things that go. But that's the end of this book. Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about the book before we get into the ratings?
I don't think so.
Okay, I just had one other thing. It was a quote, and it said, every color has a purpose, and every color props up the golds. So you kind of... What I liked about that is it basically said every color has obviously a purpose, and their main purpose is to prop up the golds, which hopefully by the end of the series they topple down, which I feel like was kind of like an interlude, but that's all I got.
Yeah, let's hope they get the golds.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Yeah. Nope, I don't have anything else, so you want to get into the ratings?
Sure.
Okay. Do you want me to go first or you want to go first?
I'll go first.
That sigh.
My rating is a 2.5.
Okay.
I liked the first part, like part 1 and part 2, where he's going in and he's like, they explain the Reds and like the system and all that, and when he gets his little makeover and what he's gonna do. Like, I really liked that. And then it got to the Institute, and it was just war the whole time, and I was like, ugh.
Yep.
And the gold characters kind of sucked. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't really like anybody, so I wasn't rooting for anyone, really.
But, I mean, besides the main character.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
fair enough.
2.5. I don't like war books, and this turned into a war book.
I have a feeling the rest of them are like that too, though.
Yeah.
Or obviously there's going to be some sort of conflict. Yeah, hopefully not all war.
Yeah.
It's just really hard to read because it's like...
like, the writing was good. Like, everything about it was good, except for I don't like war books. So the fault is my own, not the books.
It's your own fault, damn it! No. No, I totally get it. My rating was also 2.5. I really liked the beginning. I really liked the concept of the book, but it lost me during the Institution because I guess I didn't know what I was expecting. I didn't realize the Goulds were like ruthless fuckers, like, which I should have gotten the first book, or the first part of the book. But yeah, it was just, I think it was to get into the mindset of the leaders and what they have to go through, to show that it's not all rainbows and butterflies for them. is kind of how I took it.
Yeah.
As each color has its purpose, and the gold's purpose is to become the best of the best, so they can rule the society. And to do that, they have to become ruthless. That's how I kind of took it. Great book, great writing. It's just the institution. I'm just like, fuck this. Like, I hate the golds. Like,
yeah.
It was just like, they were so the characters is so much hateable that I'm like, I hope you all die.
Yeah.
You know, at the end I was just like, I don't care for you. I don't care for you.
Like, I wasn't rooting for anybody to really win.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care who wins. This is a pointless, like, war to be mean to each other because it's like a test war.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, there's no point in doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Especially since you felt like it was rigged in the beginning. But I did like how Darrow kind of, like, stuck it to him. Like, he was the first guy to go up to Olympus and, you know, take over that. And that really showed great leadership on his part. But it was just rigged from the beginning, so it didn't feel like it was a fair fight anyways.
Yeah. And you get lost in the commotion of everything.
Yeah.
Between which house is where and who's going which way.
And then, like, this whole, like, test took, like, a year and some change. He says somewhere in the book, he's like, I forget what he said. So he's been in the institution longer than he's been married to his wife when she was still alive.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn. Like, I know they got married and they, you know, like, they hadn't even been married, like, a whole year. And to be like, oh. Like, a whole year outside of freaking find your own food. Like, on top of everyone trying to kill you or cut your ear off or something.
Or make you become a slave.
Yeah, like, yeah, I got lost in that too, but I just don't like the whole war. I'm more of a behind-the-scenes assassin person. Just kill everyone is fine.
Yeah. Well, it's okay if it's like there's a war going on, but you're not focused in the war. Like, you have one character and they're doing something in the war, and then it goes, but you don't get the directions of where everybody is.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Yeah. And plus knowing for me that this was going to be the end, I was just like, well, we know he has to at least prevail somewhere, but... Anyways.
Yeah.
What was your sciencey rating on it?
Probably about 3. Okay. They're on Mars. There's science stuff going on, but it's mainly just like you feel like you're just in a big open area with some castles and they're just fighting.
Yeah. No, I get that. I gave it a 4 just because of the whole turning him into a gold and all that fucking bullshit of nanotech and all that. Like, I was like, okay, yeah, no, it's the science stuff.
Yeah.
Plus, with them being on Mars, spaceships, the grav boots, like, I just felt like there was a bunch of science, even though you maybe didn't see a lot of it, especially since he was mostly unconscious for most of the transitioning. But still, that's why I gave it a 4. Okay, so there's that. So that was Red Rising by Pierce Brown.
Will you be reading the second book?
No.
Okay. That's how I kind of feel too. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to continue.
I might, just to see if I liked it past that book, but not at the current. Like, I'm not like, okay, gotta read the second book, you know?
Yeah.
Like, down the line, if I pick it up, you know. What about you?
Yeah, no. I'm not doing
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to like this book, but
obviously it's in your to be read list.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore. You read it.
Yeah.
Why did you want to read it?
I heard that it was good. Like, it was a good science fiction book.
It is. It's not bad.
Yeah.
And maybe the second book isn't as war-based.
But yeah. The war is what got me. And it's my reading preference over what the actual book is.
Yeah, no.
Because it's written well. Like,
yeah, no.
There's good characters.
It's a good book. It's just...
not my preference.
Yeah, just in the middle... And I understand why. Like, war scenes in books, I get, but like you said, it was just more the fact that I didn't like any of the characters. I didn't want anyone to prevail besides maybe Darrow. You know what I mean? Like, usually in a war you have
people that you're rooting for.
Yes, and there's 12 houses, and I didn't care for any of them. Besides Cerro, but he wasn't. He's not
the underdog.
Yeah, he was straight up the underdog. What'd you find out? Actually, well, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But yeah. So, do you want to go over our next books?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
So our horror pick is I Was a Teenage Slasher by Stephen Graham Jones, which I am super excited about.
Yes. Okay.
I love Stephen Graham Jones.
Our sci-fi pick is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson.
Yep, Brandy Sandy. Our romance pick is Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boyce.
Immortal Dark by Tigris Grima is our fantasy pick it's fantasy slash horror, but more fantasy.
Yeah.
So that's our August books, which is kind of our theme of back to school.
So they're all set in schools or have something to do with a school or an institute or something of that nature.
Yes.
Red Rising would have also fit in this.
Yeah, that's true. It would have, yeah. And then next week is going to be our special episode regarding the season 1 of Silo, which is based on the book trilogy Wool by Hugh Howey, yeah. Yeah, Hugh. I'm getting better at names. Dang it. I was just like, yep, I read the book. Couldn't tell you the author. I'm getting better, guys. I'm getting better at it. Anything else you want to talk about before we sign off?
I don't think so. I think we covered pretty much everything.
All right. Well, hope you see you next time, and we're just going to chit-chat and talk about Silo compared to the book, and probably just a little bit of everything.
Yeah. It's going to be a bonus episode.
It's going to be a bonus episode, so you're going to have to deal with it. Anyways, I hope you tune in to the next episode.
Okay.
Bye.